دكتور حنان.
ايوه اوكي. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
Hello everybody. Welcome to our second seminar. Last week we have our first seminar, which was really very distinguished speaker giving us excellent updates. Okay. Just get my slides. Okay, welcome everybody. This is me, Dr. Hanan Al-Ghamdi. Luckily, we could have today a very distinguished speaker from Spain, Dr. Francisco, and the same team, the same great work that was done last week. Hopefully, we continue the same quality. Last week, we had really a great impact, and the variety and quality of presentation was really very noticeable by everybody. Today, we continue discussing a very distinguished and really a hot topic, and probably created a lot of impact in the social media once the news was published by some reporter from China. Corona still, it is increasing worldwide, and all over the world the people are suffering, and the whole universe is almost in lockdown. As we can see in the chronometer worldwide, the curve is not flattened, and this is a new terminology that all of us need to really comprehend, which is flattening the curve. Two new terms that we have to get used to them: social distancing and flattening the curve. Last week, when we presented our first seminar, the cases was 250,000. Today, it is almost doubling. I hope next meeting we don't have also doubling numbers. However, this is the reality. The whole world is waking up into almost a disaster. A lot of countries still struggling to overcome this ordeal. As we can look at this table on the left, it's a busy slide, but however, I can explain more. We can see that the USA, it's far, number one, far from the second in row, which is Spain. And Francisco can also comment on this if you can hear me. The number are doubling. Now it's doubling every 4 days, I think, in the United States. Started like every 2 days, then 3 days, now every 4 days. And all the measures that was done and introduced was to really slow the doubling time. The United Nations added very important column information in the Corona update, which is the number of tests total and per million. Looking at these numbers, maybe it's confusing, but we need to really focus in the percentage more than the absolute number. So it's very interesting to know what's the infectivity of the virus per nation. So looking at the total cases per 1 million, this is very good parameters to tell you about how good that authority in controlling the spread of the infection. You see it's very high in the United States, 1,219, in Spain 3,000, almost doubled. One of the highest in the world, I would say. Yeah, I would say when we talk about a nation in millions, because there is other number, but Luxembourg I don't think they make 1 million. Yeah. So when we take about 1 million, I'll give you time to comment on this, Francisco.
Okay.
Okay. When we look at Saudi Arabia, how we are doing today, per the announcement, Ministry of Health, they say 300 plus. I can see here in the worldwide meter, it's 137, and there is a total of 41 deaths. We started late. We started in March, having the first case. And the government right away implemented a lot of measures to slow down the spread. They closed the mosque, they closed the haram in Mecca and Medina. They tried to restrict and educate people. Lockdown was partial, then now it's complete. So we somehow managed to slow down. We have now 84 cases per million, as compared to the United States, Spain, or Italy. Mortality is 1 per million, as compared to other countries. Also, very interestingly to learn from as an experience, it's the South Korea. South Korea experience is very distinguished, because they managed to flatten the curve, and I will show this. Now, absolute number, we have 1,454 cases. Death is tripled, not only double. Last week was 35, now 83. However, if we look at the percentage recovered from death here, it's actually very high, 21%. In Saudi Arabia, it's 5.6 recovered to death. Well, I'm not talking about total cases. Total cases will be lower, must be lower. However, this is in red, the critical cases, 5%. And actually, I need to discuss this with you, Francisco. How come 5%, 48,000, and the world is struggling? We seem that we are not prepared for this pandemic. So the new cases and the death is actually in sharp, steep climbing. And this is worldwide. Some country, as we can see here from the percentage, they managed to slow down. Other they don't. Okay.
Well, in our case, where we just arrived to the plateau. We just arrived to a plateau. So cases are dropping, but maybe only a little. So I may say that we have arrived. Maybe we have arrived to the top. And yes. We expect that the outbreak is going to drop maybe after 1 week. We are expecting that.
To confirm what, actually the graph here is confirming what you are saying. So the new cases in Spain, now it's coming down. So you are coming from the top now, okay?
New cases in Spain are coming down because we start social measures maybe 3 weeks ago, and we are noticing this. I think we arrived late. That's my impression.
Yeah.
Maybe not as a physician, as a citizen, as a Spanish citizen. I think we arrived late because we have done just the same that Italy did. Italy and Spain, there are countries where we are very close to them, and we have a very similar health system, very similar health and political structure, and this is the mirror we are looking at.
If we look at the South Korea curve, they reach they flatten the curve. They reach the plateau stage.
Yeah, true.
From almost beginning of March, and they keep the same. Yeah.
But I think there in South Korea, or even in all the countries of Asia, they have a different social relationships.
Yes.
They have a different social behavior, and I think that the most important in South Korea was the testing, the massive population testing. I think it's the key.
At the beginning, yes, they did a lot of testing.
Exactly.
Almost it's 9,000 per million. Recently, Italy and Germany, they improved their testing. My point here that for the audience about how about us in Saudi Arabia. Some people, they get depressed because we saw some climbing number.
Yeah.
However, per calculation, if we apply science here, I believe we reach the top of the curve and we're coming down. We're coming down. Saying this is not the end of the story.
No.
Yeah, it's not the end of the story. It just to be even with the virus, just to be even, like Barcelona and Madrid, just to be even, 1-to-1, until we get the vaccine and the medication. For how long, we never know. But this is I don't think there is in history a battle so long and so uneven, because your enemy, you cannot see it, you don't know how to deal with it. But however, you try just to build walls until you get there to the treatment, and we have to be in this comforting situation like in South Korea and in Taiwan and other countries, so we can really function as a society, and our economy will kick in and so on. So until we reach here, we cannot loosen up the recommendation for social distancing. Look at these two graphs. I think it's very, very important that anyone who wants to really learn about the performance, they have to study this on a daily basis. New cases to recover. Green is good, red is bad. So recovered cases, we need to see more recovered cases, or even so we can flatten the curve. So this is for Spain. At the beginning, there was a big gap. Now they are closing the gap. In Saudi Arabia,
exactly. Yeah. Now we are closing the gap, but
we are closing the gap. In Saudi Arabia,
this is not only closing the gap. I think we need to drop
the number and really have more recover or equal to the cases at least. Yeah.
But Dr. Hanan, I think it will last a lot of months.
Yes,
because
I think we totally agree.
It will drop definitely when we have the vaccine, but the vaccine will last for at about 1 year or 1 year and a half. I think
you need
until,
both.
Until using the vaccine, maybe we will have to be used. We will need to be used to a new social relationships. So
exactly.
The
same thing.
Maybe, I think politicians they will have to start all the way of life.
New way of life, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least until we have the vaccine.
Yeah, adaptation, I would say. Okay.
Because
if we
I am expecting a second wave. We are expecting a second and a third wave. Until we have the vaccine. I think it's going to happen maybe in autumn or maybe in winter.
Okay, when we measure the death to recovery, we want the curve to be really wide. Now we want the gap to be wide. We want less death, more recovery. In Spain there was at certain point at the beginning there was a lot of death, less recovery, and now the gap is increasing. Here in Saudi Arabia at the beginning It was very wide. Now we see somehow less gap. Hopefully we'll get it down, and this is the situation. I compared Saudi Arabia to Spain. So the new term, flattening the curve, everybody need to be acquainted to this new term. And in simple term, the usual, if you don't have a protective measure, like some country who were sluggish in implementing some protective measure and any social measure to slow down the virus, this is what will happen without protection. This is the curve, and this is a disaster, a lot of death and so on. So what we want the cases to be within the capacity of the healthcare. This is the red line. So you need to have a self-esteem. You need to know exactly what is your cut point. Where is the red line? So this is
where is the red line to change?
This varies from country to country. And maybe the red line is down or up, and in China it's up. In other country, African country, is down, it's very down. So what we do, and this is what I call the administrative or political measures. It's not medical. It's not in our hands.
It's not in our hands, for sure. Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. So we need the politician, as you said, to help us to keep the cases here, so we can manage. So everybody will get treatment and so on. And this is flattening the curve. Everybody has to be acquainted. And yes, social distancing and all these measures that were applied, like personal protective, washing your hand, environmental measure, all of this will continue to be the same. I think, as you said, like we waking up in a dream. Everybody have to really adapt. And this is like a new environment for all of us, and we have to change everything. We have to change everything. So this is the situation. So coming to our topics, we heard a lot of news coming from China. Some of it, they appear in the social media and appear in the newspaper, and coming from the government, Hubei government, and so on. And after a few days, it's deleted about the effect of coronavirus on male fertility. And really, this has had a big impact, and not surprisingly, in the social media, because everybody got worried. Some, they said it's good worry because people now will adopt the social distancing and all the recommendations. But we need really to know what the science behind it. Is it hormonal? Is it inflammation or urticaria? This is one of the, most of the publications is not peer review. Still
no peer review, no at all.
It's still like this one. You see, it's very constructive study about the hormone, luteinizing hormone, and so on, in patients infected with COVID-19. However, it's still not peer reviewed. We had a lot of chat. Sorry, Francisco, but I have to introduce you to our audience. I know you for a long time. And you were here working in Saudi Arabia for 2 years in Security Force Hospital in Dammam. However, you left. I hope it's not because of us.
No, sure.
Maybe Barcelona team. I don't know. Okay. So
I like football, but I'm not a real supporter of any team.
Oh, really? Okay. Francisco Marin is our presenter today. He's a urology consultant at Hospital di Balmos, Girona,
yes.
You need to invite us there so we can.
Yes, it's a very beautiful place.
all of Spain. I'm not surprised. Oncological urology, reconstructive urology. This is your interest. Neurourology and urodynamic and endourology. Okay. As I said, he was here in Saudi Arabia between 2013 and 2014. Training 2000-2005 in Barcelona. A lot of publication and also published a chapter in a book. And the topic is male infertility, and we need to hear all what you could find in the literature, and probably take a few questions and see if it is fact or myth. So welcome, Francisco.
Thank you very much.
And this is your presentation, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a big pleasure to be here with all of you. Okay, so regarding to this topic, this is a brand new topic because of the brand new disease we have now. As you know, COVID outbreak is an unexpected event worldwide, and it's creating a big challenge in all medicine specialties in the society, definitely. We do know that coronavirus is involving testing and even stressing all the national health systems of all over the world. And you know, it's not a war. It's not a war, but it's something similar. And when you want to fight against the enemy, we need to recognize its behavior. In this case, we have to recognize the behavior of the virus, and we have to recognize the damage that the virus gives to the human body. So that's the reason of this webinar. Multidisciplinary activities will give all this arsenal of weapons to know physiopathology and epidemiology of the virus. So what about our specialty and the coronavirus? Well, at the beginning I was very surprised because I was reading something about the SARS infection in 2003 and the MERS infection in 2012. So the coronavirus belongs to a family virus that have a particular ability, is to get into the cells through spike S protein and AC2 receptors. What are AC2 receptors? They are angiotensin converting enzyme receptors that they are present in lungs, as we know now. The main disease that the coronavirus is producing is pneumonia, and even small bowel, kidney, heart, thyroid gland, and surprisingly for me, testis. Why testis? Because the testis has a lot of ACE2 receptors, especially the spermatogonia. So you have to know that spermatogonia are the cells that will become sperm. This damage can be done in 3 ways. The first way, and maybe the most important, that happens at the first phase of the infection, in the viral phase, and depending on the viral load. So the virus enters inside the cell and via AC2 receptor, so create more RNA and permit that the virus can reproduce freely. And in the second phase of the disease, called immunogenic phase, there is a severe immune damage produced by, as some physicians say, as cytokine storm. And finally, and as every viral or bacterial infection is due to fever, to the temperature that, as you know, spermatogonia, they need a relatively warm environment to make a proper function. This is the structure of the virus. This is a typical RNA virus with a RNA, a simple chain inside, spike glycoprotein, and I have read in some papers that maybe not only spermatogonia have these ACE receptors. Maybe Leydig and Sertoli cells have the same receptors. What are Leydig and Sertoli cells? Well, Leydig cells are the main is the main cell that producing testosterone, and Sertoli cells are supporting cells to the spermatogonia. So if there is not only affection to the spermatogonia, and there is affection to Leydig and Sertoli cells as well, so therefore we can have an hypothetical influence of testosterone production. But at the moment, this is only theory, because there is no peer-reviewed papers, only short discussed papers in China. I only found 3 papers. So, as you know, now the priority is not reproduction, is not fertility. Now the priority is researching treatments, researching the vaccine to life-threatening effects of the virus, of course. But in the future, the male infertility related to the COVID and other uroandrological disorders will create lots of papers, and we will open a new research line. But to do it, we only need time. We need time, maybe months or maybe years. We will have a lot of papers, a lot of doctoral theses, so we will have a lot of work. But I think now is very soon. And of course, we will need a large, serious, randomized, and non-biased research. Here, 2 or 3 papers I have found, written in China, of course, because the outbreak started there, and they are the people with more experience now, of course, logically. Human sperm, as you know, takes 60 days to form, and recovered patients could still return after the period to provide a sample. But here is the problem. We could not be sure about fertility if patients weren't tested before. So maybe we have patients with problems with fertility before the outbreak, and we cannot count as healthy reproductive patients after and before and after the COVID infection. But I think one of the more important topics is to test the male hormone profile, because, as you know, one of the places where coronavirus 19 acts, it's over the central nervous system. As you remember, one of the symptoms of coronavirus infections is anosmia, is the disability to smell. And disability to smell is related to central nervous system affection. We can say that maybe the hypophysis testis axis function is affected as well. So I think it gives you a lot of passion to study in the future this problem, but we need time. We need time to do this. And me, as an European Spanish urologist, what we are doing in my unit, and I think Dr. Hanan and all the audience, I think the most important thing we are going to change in medicine is that we're going to promote telematic consultation. This is going to be the future, and this is the present too. Now we perform only oncological surgeries and only urological surgical emergencies, because our hospital, for example, in Palamos, the place I'm working now, so 2/3 of the wards are busy with coronavirus patients. And we need time. We need time to come back to our daily work. And we have coronavirus and non-coronavirus operation theaters. And before and in every elective surgery, we perform a COVID screening. And of course, I think it's the most important, not only in the hospital, outside and everywhere is safety, safety, and safety, mask, protections, that we have an important lack of this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, if we can summarize this, there's established data about hormonal changes with the infection, yes or no? Main hormone abnormality, is it detected, yes or no? Because
theoretically, it's only theory.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's only theory. It's not proven. It's only theory.
In this study, they found hormonal changes, luteinizing hormone, testosterone, increase the luteinizing hormone, decrease the testosterone. How that will affect infertility, we don't know. So in short term, there's changes. In long term, as you said, we don't have, the leisure of time to follow up patients and so on.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
That's rush because we want to get solution. That's why we see, this is unprecedented situation where we have a lot of medical data coming from unpaired review website and social media, not the peer reviewed.
Not the peer reviewed, exactly.
Yeah, as you know, this is like basic foundation for any medical conclusion before we make it or we establish a protocol. Usually, this is how we get our recommendations. So now we have only scattered data here and there. So you want to reassure people that actually scientifically or just mere reassurance, there is no association between COVID-19 and male infertility. Can you now absolutely 100% declare that there is no association?
No, I'm not sure, really. No, because there isn't no data. No data.
Yeah, we agree. I reviewed also. We agree. There is no absolute data to say there is association between COVID infection and infertility. But now we know there is no data. However, the second part of the question is there is a worry, there is alarming signs. There is alarming signs. Is there?
Alarming signs.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't work to alarm at the moment. I repeat the same. We need time. We need time and time. We need to wait for a year and to talk about the same topic.
So the second thing, okay, the second thing we can agree on, there is no really serious red flags. There's no serious red flags. And whatever let's say observation, it's not solid observation. It's not constant solid observation. So this is really to elevate and to clarify this issue for everybody. And I think this will really impact. Instead of looking at this possible chronic outcome, we need to focus more about more serious thing, more serious complication. A lot of viral infection, they affect the gonadal tissue. A lot of viral,
of course, like mumps, hepatitis,
hepatitis, exactly. And they don't have infertility. Yes, and then they don't have infertility. This is a very good point. Thank you, Francisco.
You're welcome. Big pleasure.
Yeah. One of the questions I received in the WhatsApp, you don't recommend like counseling after or now somebody like in vitro fertilization or so, whatever. I mean, like saving their sperm or whatever.
I recommend to wait. I recommend to wait at least 6 months. maybe 6 months.
And you don't recommend doing any hormonal, let's say, before now?
No, not now.
Or during the infection?
In every patient having a coronavirus infection, I recommend to wait. If the patient wants to know what about his fertility, I recommend to wait.
So wait, okay, excellent. If the patient develop any associated symptoms related to the genitalia, is there anything alarming, or there is anything then we can say we have to interfere in very rare cases?
Mm-hmm. I think in this case, can be very interesting testing the all male hormone profile, not only testosterone, maybe LH, FS, all hypophysis hormone, because as I told you before, it can be an hypophysis affection, and all the axes can be damaged. Mm-hmm. So we can have a primary hypogonadism or a secondary hypogonadism. We don't know, but maybe it can be very interesting to perform a total hormone profile. I think it could be very interesting to investigate the patient when a genitalia or an hormonal or even a fertility problem it happens. Yeah.
I saw one of the publication again in Unpaired Review website. It's about actually gonadal tissue or testicular tissue biopsy. If any biopsy, I don't know if you came across this. And based on that, they prove there is infection. Based on that, they suggested that probably there is the risk for infertility. What's your view about this? And there is any indication to do biopsy?
No indications. No indications yet.
Okay. Good answer. So clear answer, and I agree. There is nothing. But as you said, that we can wait for more data to show up.
We need more data. Yes.
Yeah, but there is no red flags now. No red flags. It's not a priority probably because there is no red flag.
No, because there are more life-threatening problems now. I think the lung disease. I think it's mandatory now.
Yeah. Thank you a lot, Francisco. We appreciate this.
Thank you.
I'm sure you still recognize some Arabic words.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I can. Not only few words, maybe some phrases. I can recognize.
Give us the phrases. Do you more than phrases? More than phrases? Do you remember anything?
Yeah, of course. So كيف كيف الحياة في المملكة العربية السعودية.
Okay. How about الفاتحة? Do you still remember?
Huh?
الفاتحة.
Yes, of course.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember it was the first text I studied when I start to study Arabic. Yeah, I remember start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina siratal mustaqim siratal alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin amin. I think it was like that.
Yes, it's very, very, very correct. And finally, I pray for all the people who sacrifice themselves in the front line for the medical side, our colleagues. Unfortunately, 40% in some countries of the affected patients are actually frontliners, healthcare. And I hope and I believe that the situation, the environment for working for these healthcare workers in some countries will improve. It's actually saddening that healthcare provider had to sacrifice their life because they could not find PPE, and we are in 21st century. Unfortunately, this is regrettable.
Yeah, we need that, because it's like going to the war without protection. It's like that.
Without weapon, exactly. Without weapon, this is unjustifiable loss of life. Unjustifiable loss of life. Thank you again. I wish the situation will improve in all the countries. And next week, hopefully, inshallah, we'll have a better data and good news for everybody. Every day there is a hope. We just have to have faith.
Yes, we need to have faith.
Exactly. We cannot survive. We cannot survive if we don't have hope. And I'm sure that soon all of this will be history, and really will tell story about this to the next generation. And we know a lot. We know a lot. Yes, it is very fearful infection, but we do have and we know a lot. And we have to
we need to learn. We need to learn a lot every day. Learning,
exactly.
Reading, reviewing.
We should not
studying.
give up. Yeah. And we are a role model. We are in healthcare role model for everybody. We need to network. This is important. This is why we created our webinar, and we need to share information, do groups. I heard about a group in the WhatsApp about people different from all over their country, all over the world, different countries. They are sharing information,
sharing knowledge.
So we need to do this, and hopefully we'll meet next time with a great news. Thank you again.
We hope
Thank you to your family.
Welcome.
And soon, inshallah, we'll hear from you. And to the audience, thank you. We could not answer all.
Thank you very much. Ma salama.
Ma salama. We'll meet you again. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.